There's a kind of loneliness that doesn't announce itself. It's not loud or obvious. It lives quietly behind laughter, hides in busy calendars, and disguises itself with phrases like, "just been swamped lately." It's not about being physically alone. It's the ache of realizing that nobody truly sees you. That if you vanished for a while, most people wouldn't notice until much later. That when something beautiful or terrible happens, you're unsure who to tell. It's a silence that grows inside, steady and patient. Not sharp, not dramatic, but constant. And with time, it begins to shape the way you think, the way you see yourself, the way you move through life. People often misunderstand those who have few or no friends. They assume detachment, arrogance, or disinterest. But in truth, many of them care too much. They notice every shift in tone, every half smile that doesn't reach the eyes. They feel subtleties most overlook. And when you feel everything, connection starts to seem dangerous. So they retreat, not out of hate, but out of self-protection. Psychologists have found that chronic isolation changes the brain. It registers loneliness like pain. Heart rate quickens, sleep grows shallow, and the mind begins scanning for danger where none exists. Because long ago, being alone meant you were unsafe. Today you can scroll through endless feeds, surrounded by thousands of faces, and still feel invisible. Because attention isn't the same as connection, and validation isn't intimacy. Most people who end up alone didn't choose it suddenly. It happened slowly, through disappointments, broken trust, and moments where openness led to hurt. Eventually your brain learns, it's safer not to try. You stop reaching out. You convince yourself solitude is peace. For a while it is. But eventually, healing solitude turns into haunting solitude. Humans are wired to connect. Even the most independent heart longs to be understood. Over time, loneliness reshapes how you experience the world. Your inner voice grows louder than the world around you. You replay memories like old tapes, wondering what went wrong. Sometimes you blame yourself, sometimes others, but often it's neither. It's just how the human mind copes with repeated disconnection. There's a term for it: learned social helplessness. When you've tried and failed to connect too many times, you stop trying at all. You tell yourself you're fine being alone, but deep down, you're waiting for someone who understands without explanation. And yet the more you long for it, the harder it feels to find. What's cruel about loneliness is that it can look like happiness. Some people who feel unseen still laugh, work, and post cheerful photos. But inside, they live in two worlds, the one they show and the one they feel. They've built a version of themselves designed to survive, not to be known. Long-term isolation can even dull empathy. Not because people stop caring, but because they stop practicing connection. Empathy is a muscle. It weakens when unused. So those who live too long without friends sometimes go numb, not from apathy, but exhaustion. And yet within that stillness lies something profound. The lonely often become the most empathetic. Because they know what it feels like to be unseen, they notice when others are overlooked. They're the quiet ones who check in, who listen without needing to speak. The paradox is this: those who have no friends often make the best ones, if someone takes the time to see them. But healing from isolation doesn't begin with others finding you. It begins with remembering yourself. You start small, responding to a message, smiling back, saying yes when fear tells you no. It's not about forcing confidence, it's about allowing life to touch you again. Real friendship doesn't demand perfection, it asks for presence. In truth, people who've lived in loneliness often hold incredible depth. They've studied human nature from the edges. They crave sincerity, not surface. They want conversations that feel alive, silences that feel safe. And though vulnerability feels dangerous after years of guarding yourself, it's the only bridge back to connection. Healing is slow. It takes patience and gentleness. When your mind says, "no one cares," answer softly, "I'm learning to." When it says, "you'll always be alone," reply, "I'm still open to being found." The brain listens. It relearns. Connection grows again, one heartbeat at a time. Loneliness isn't the end of your story. It's the quiet space before your next chapter, the part where you rediscover who you are and begin to attract the kind of people who see that truth in you. Because friendship isn't about being surrounded, it's about being recognized. Two souls who look at each other and silently think, "you too? I thought I was the only one." And maybe that's all belonging really